And I think that it's never been easier to build technical skills. I mean, there's so many free resources, but I worry, with all the free kind of like teaching resources, the way I learn is always kind of through playing and tinkering and building small things that I actually care about. And so that's my method. I think other people learn in different ways, but I would at least encourage people to like try to make an end-to-end thing that works, that satisfies something. Like the other day, I was building a little website where you could kind of put in your text and then it would make the text conform, to my personal opinion about good writing style.
Oh.
And I was trying to give it to my team to say, hey, why don't you, before you send me an email, like run it through this, and then I will like love to read your email.
So how did you do that?
Well, I made it with Vercel, which is actually a lot of fun. It's like pretty simple, and these APIs are not hard to call. So it was actually pretty I felt like it was a little bit of a beginner project. I mean, I'm not the best engineer.
So it was a web tool where people could run their email through and get a critique and see if.
Yeah.
And so how did you end up training that model? So I'm assuming you didn't train the model, you just passed in prompts, or how did you go about this end-to-end project just for our...
Yeah, so I'd written a style guide for the company to say, here's how I think I would like people to write.
Okay, yeah.
And so I didn't do any training. I just literally made a prompt that I said, hey, OpenAI, put the next thing in this style guide, And it was funny because I was like running all these like emails that I was getting through it. And I was like, wow, I actually really prefer the style guide that I'm like telling people. So, okay, it's actually working.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was a really fun little project. But I think there's like millions of projects like that. And at least for me, I think that's the best way for me to learn. And so I would recommend that to at least try building some kind of fun end-to-end app that's tangible that you can show people.
Yeah, right. And for those of you who don't know, Vercel is a web app deployment company. They perhaps do other things, but that's what I know them as, and my website is hosted on Vercel.
Nice.
That's correct. I'm correct on that's how you use it as well.
That's how you. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have received this question from some of the viewers. As a non-technical person coming into AI, what means they've made it? Like, what do they need to do to feel like they're actually worthy to be there and like they've made it and they can be in the room?
Well, hopefully everyone can be in the room.
Of course. I feel the same way. Everyone can be in the room, but they have this, like, oh, I don't understand how AI works. I need to, I don't have a background in AI. How do I get into the field? How do I guess even for a company, like I want to apply to do AI at a company. What do you look for in people who apply but may not have a background? Perhaps you're not hiring people like that yet. Maybe you are.
We do all the time. So
okay,
I have a lot to say about that. Yeah. I would say, every step that somebody takes towards learning goes a long way, right? So, for example, we hire technical support roles and you don't have to be a world's AI expert, but we do really want to see, hey, I've done like a little AI project. I've like taken some classes, right? Like even, our chief people officer did a really cool project using GPT that I just absolutely love, where she was like kind of, like helping do self-assessments with GPT. And so I think like using these models in different ways that you can talk about really shows like a level of curiosity. And honestly, no one has more than 2 years of experience with LLMs right now. So it's kind of the easiest place to catch up. So I think if you feel kind of left behind or like you don't have a place, that's like definitely fixable.